Coach Ehtisham Karim, head coach of the Pakistan national team. Thank you so much for taking out the time. We really appreciate it. I've seen you work with the team on the final tuning, the fine tuning of the tournament heading into it. As a coach, as somebody who's going to be cornering all the fighters in this tournament, how do you feel right now, just days away from the Asian Championship? What are the emotions, what are the feelings that you're experiencing right now?
Looking forward to it. The team has been prepping really hard, and the preparations have been going really well. We're just giving up some final touches, discussing some game plans according to the opponents. The Asians might sound like a small event, but trust me, ये पूरी दुनिया के सबसे best talent है, worlds के अंदर भी आता है, वो Asian से ही आता है. So these are the same people जो worlds में जाके medals मारते हैं या इन्हीं के teammates medals मारते हैं. So this is a world championship in itself, dealing with the guys in the Eastern Bloc and everyone. So just again, तैयारियां हमारी अपनी पूरी हैं. We're just wrapping up the management side of the things. The team is in good spirits, and we're hoping to go again and put on a performance for the people, and hopefully come back with some memories and some highlights.
So, what expectations have you set from yourself, from the team, from the contingent heading into Bahrain? I mean, what do you tell your students as well? What do you tell the athletes when it comes to how they should be mentally approaching these championships? Is it gold or bust, or how have you thought about the expectations and how to manage them ahead of this championship?
It's pretty simple. Or most of the work is done before camp throughout the year. इनकी जहन साजी से लेके इनकी टेक्निकल ट्रेनिंग से लेके स्ट्रेंथ एंड कंडीशनिंग का वो टाइम होता है. I say some pretty similar things. I tell them that the lights and the big cages and all of these events, the international tour and trip, it's just an illusion, and sometimes it throws off and distracts the participants. All of that stuff is for you, जो लोग देखने आएंगे, including them, और सारा का सारा जो इवेंट होगा, एहतमाम होगा, वो तुम्हारे लिए है. And it's your time to go in and shine and just give us the best. जो तुम लोग अपने एकेडमीज़ के अंदर अपने टीममेट्स के सामने, हमारे सामने यहाँ पे नेशनल ट्रेनिंग कैंप में जो तुम लोग हमें दिखाते हो अपना टैलेंट और स्किल, जिसकी बेसिस पे हम तुम लोगों का सिलेक्शन करते हैं, और तुम लोगों को हम लोग इतना ट्रस्ट करते हैं कि तुम लोग नेशनल टीम और पाकिस्तान के कंटिजेंट ग्रीन एंड वाइट जो है ना, उसको रिप्रेजेंट करने के तुम लोग हकदार हो. तो जस्ट शो दैट, डेमोन्स्ट्रेट दैट. देयर इज़ गोना बी प्रेशर, इट्स नेचुरल. अगर आपको प्रेशर नहीं है बिफोर फाइट, इट मीन्स दैट you're crazy or there's something wrong with you. So you need to learn how to handle that pressure and listen to your coaches, keep the lectures, keep the stuff that you've been told in mind. Go in there and perform. Do not make the wolf appear bigger than it is in your head, because वो तुम्हारी तरह का एक इंसान है, वो भी ट्रेन करके आता है, and you have worked hard and you have sacrificed so many things. This is the time that those sacrifices that you've made, the training that you put in through your blood, sweat and tears should be on display. कि उसके बदले आपने क्या स्किल आपने हासिल किया है, कौन सा जो है ना एक्सेलेंस का लेवल आपने अचीव किया है, वो लोगों को जाके दिखाओ. बिकॉज पाकिस्तान है, एंड यू मे नॉट गेट अ सेकंड अपॉर्चुनिटी अनलेस यू पुट ऑन अ परफॉर्मेंस that puts you in line कि यहाँ के अच्छा ठीक है अगली बारी के लिए. We have to keep that in mind. So that's about it.
So as a federation, as the person who's looking a lot after the athlete management in the federation as well, were there any adjustments needed? Were there any adjustments done? And what kind of adjustments were looked at after the outing in Albania or even the Asian Championships last year, even the first time the contingent went to Abu Dhabi 2021? If you look at those three events in succession and now you're going into the fourth, what do you feel has been the approach towards taking in one tournament at a time? And are there any adjustments? Are there any adjustments even?
Adjustments on what level? Because we've been making micro adjustments on every level, particularly the training. Okay, I can talk about that in detail. के training के लिए adjustments की गई हैं. Every event that we go to has been a key experience for the team to work on there, to sort of like diagnose and identify their weaknesses because now they're performing at the global stage. और उसके बाद to cover those mistakes up, to turn your weaknesses into your strength. इस तरह की चीज़ें to make the team more and more well-rounded. But because हमारे पास इतने ज़्यादा numbers नहीं है पाकिस्तान में कि जिसके साथ हम खेल सकें, हमारे पास talent pool बहुत बड़ा नहीं है, to be very honest, when we sort of put the numbers together. So we got to work with what we have in this situation. And the best part about it is that the federation plus the athletes, they know on their ends को उनको क्या क्या चीज़ें adjust करने की ज़रूरत है. So with every passing trip, with every experience, पाकिस्तान का नाम globally आ तो रहा है, लेकिन I'm pretty sure कि हर other event के अंदर पिछले event से बेहतर performance होती है. और इस बार भी ऐसा ही होगा. We're going to try to touch a new benchmark.
So speaking specifically more about the federation? I mean, what would you speak to when it comes to, of course, the like gargantuan effort, I would say, that's being put together by the Pakistan Mixed Martial Arts Federation here at Brave Gym, by Immaf in particular. What would you just say when it comes to, the work that they're putting in to make this possible?
Mad props and kudos to them, especially to Umar, because he's multitasking at this point, and I hope that his burden is eased off in the future, and we're able to put together a team where some of his workload and work responsibilities are borne by other people, trustworthy people in the system. And it's very difficult. I mean, most of all, the athletes are ready, everything is ready, I'm ready, but to bring in the sponsorship और पाकिस्तान के जो financial situation से लेके फिर उसके बाद cricket की involvement जो होती है, all of these things affect a small sport like MMA. So things usually tend to be, sometimes they are uncertain, but that has been kind of like the way we've been experiencing things from the first event, that nothing has been certain, especially in terms of the finances and the money and the surety of how many people are we able to take. Obviously, as a contingent, we would always want to take more and more people, but अभी तक जो हमें सबसे बड़ी रुकावट नज़र आ रही है, हमारे सामने आ रही है, particularly हम as a federation, but उमर के सामने जो सबसे बड़ी रुकावट है वो यही है कि sponsorships got to bring in the money, because if there is not enough money, we can't take a big enough contingent, and when we can't take a big enough contingent, that creates problems. So mad props to him, and I hope that he keeps this work up, and I hope that more and more people sort of notice the good work that has been done here, और वो इसके अंदर इस फेडरेशन का बर्डन ईज ऑफ करने की कोशिश करें, और स्पेशली मोर एंड मोर फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट थ्रू द स्पॉन्सर्स is going to be a really really big thing.
So what message would you want to give right now to the MMA community of Pakistan at large? Of course, all the viewers and people watching on the live primarily consist of people from the Pakistan MMA community, be it fighters, coaches, supporters, so on and so forth. Naturally, there's going to be some negativity around this time of year when a team's being sent to IMF, no need to beat around the bush. But what kind of message would you want to put out to the ether in terms of the work that's being done here, but also in terms of the criticisms that are sometimes levied towards the Pakistan Mixed Martial Arts Federation? What kind of messaging would you want to put out right now at this point in time? And what would you want to say to the people supporting, but also to the naysayers about what's going on?
So the only thing I would say is that most of you guys are unaware of the ground realities of this thing. Okay, and there are ground realities on different levels. There are ground realities on executive levels, on decision-making levels, on policy-making levels. There are ground realities on coaching levels, on athletes level, and on the layman or whatever our fans, the MMA community के हमारे fans है उस level के ऊपर. Until or unless they get acquainted with the process and the way things are done in Pakistan, the way things happen in Pakistan, all sorts of criticism is welcome. I'm up for criticism, but I just don't want criticism for the sake of criticism. If somebody has something positive, if they think they can add value, it's going to be more than welcome. Because I personally like to dissect the things that people say. And most of the time when I look at these criticisms, they just come from a place of jealousy, hatred, or just pure ignorance. Jealousy or hatred isliye because so-and-so has been given the opportunity, we have not been given the opportunity. The federation has a standard, and the federation has its limitation, and the federation की जितना उसके पास उसका एक free hand है जो कि बहुत कम है. हमारी limitations और हमारे challenges बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. At the end of the day, this is the beginning phase. It's only the third time or the fourth time we're going. ठीक है? Give it a few more years. Let the entire other amateur MMA scene in Pakistan flourish. Let us figure out how to connect all the dots and how to move along and work along well together. ठीक है, और उसके बाद आहिस्ता सारी की सारी चीज़ें, nobody is putting in their effort just for the sake of a couple of people or for their own. Eventually, broader spectrum में ये सारा का सारा पाकिस्तान में मार्शल आर्ट्स के particularly MMA के सीन को फ़रोग़ देने के लिए, इस प्लेटफॉर्म को बड़ा करने के लिए, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ पैदा करने के लिए है. And believe it or not, हम अपने बिहाफ पे जितना भी perfectionism का मुज़ाहिरा करेंगे, there are external factors जो हमारे बस से बाहर हैं. Right? And then there is our typical mentality in Pakistan that is again जो हमारे बस से बाहर है. So if it was as simple as bringing, I don't know, all the stakeholders in one room and one group discussion was going to sort it out, that has happened dozens and dozens of times ago in the past 15 to 16 years. This is a process, let it take its course. If you have anything to say, aap apni, and there are many avenues anyway. Like there's not a single avenue. So the idea what we're trying to do through this work here through the Pakistan MMA Federation is कि broader spectrum में MMA का जो है ना यहाँ पे scope बने हर तरीक़े से और फिर particularly specifically amateur MMA का scope बने. And the only thing we are on our way to is standardization of pretty much everything. Like I said, we have been dealt with a few cards and we have to play with the cards that we've been dealt with. So maybe you can work on this and be the bridge between the federations and the working people and the athletes and the common people or the common fan, ताकि उनको समझाने में कि चीज़ें किस तरीके से होती हैं. Their criticism, their suggestions, their ideas are welcome as long as वो हमारा जो मॉडल जिसके अंदर हम फंक्शन कर रहे हैं, जिस एनवायरनमेंट में फंक्शन कर रहे हैं, उसके ऊपर फिट आते हैं. तो अदरवाइज़ अगर आप अमेरिका में दिया हुआ एक सोल्यूशन यहाँ पे हमें देते हैं तो आई एम सॉरी टू से इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क, बिकॉज थिंग्स वर्क वेरी डिफरेंटली इन पाकिस्तान.